Okay, what is up, everybody? Welcome to Puck Rock Rangers, episode 11. Today we have some very special guests. Richmond punk band Fit Check. We're really excited to have them here, and we're going to talk some shit about some music and some hockey and just whatever we want to talk about. So, Palmer, I'm going to let him formally introduce everyone. So what you got?
Well, yeah, this is Fit Check, and we'll get into introductions here in a second. Just wanted to say we're recording this on Tuesday, the 17th. We are live on Instagram, so we appreciate everyone who's tuning in, and we'll be answering any questions. Stefan will be checking the Instagram feed to see if anyone's chiming in. And we're here at the Hard Facts recording practice space. It's a functioning recording studio for Cicada Records, our man Nate, otherwise known as RF Soul. Look him up. He does good work here, and he's helping us make this a possibility. Without him, couldn't have done it. So, right off the rip, wanted to say thank you to Nate. Sorry, saying the wrong. He's my band member. I can't even get my name right. So, all right, we're rolling along. Yeah, we have Richmond Hardcore 4-piece Fit Check here with us. Thank you guys for your time. Appreciate y'all hanging out and doing this.
No worries.
And yeah, let's get right into it. So we'll start with names and roles in the band.
So I'm Mike, play guitar.
I'm Corey. I do vocals.
I'm Ricky. I play drums.
Wolfman, I play bass.
All right.
Hell yeah.
And I guess we can kind of pick order, or just go in order. So what's been up? Any shows in the horizon you guys are going to? Not playing. We'll get into that later. But any holiday plans? Any trips? What have y'all been up to?
All kinds of stuff. I just came from a Commanders game recently. Cold, freezing.
Yeah.
So that was fun. Left in the third quarter.
Which game was it?
It was the Tennessee Titans one.
Okay. Did they
Yeah,
win,
they bombed them out.
Okay.
Tennessee sucks.
Oh yeah, I like football, and everyone knows my Giants are a fucking disaster. I've been pretty checked out. So other than fantasy, which now ended this week abruptly, I have been pretty checked out. But that's cool. What about you, Corey?
I just saw Mamma Mia at the Altria Theater. Not sports.
Not very punk rock either.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. ABBA is pretty.
It's pretty funky.
In my opinion, I think that they kind of really set the tone. They're pretty punk in my book. So.
Okay. Hey,
Yeah.
that's punk does not really have any rules. You don't have to
Yeah.
be spiky mohawk guy.
Right.
So, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you can be Scandinavian.
Right. Yeah. I'm down with it.
I have been sick for the last week, so I've been doing lots of nothing. But I don't know. I don't really have anything coming up. I'm kind of trying to take the holidays kind of chill.
Okay. Oh yeah. Same here.
I forgot to mention I did see True Body at the warehouse.
Nice.
That was amazing. They're kind of gothy. Oh, and Wolfman was there.
Yeah.
Kind of I don't know, gothy, new wave, dance music.
Okay.
Got the
They're
kids moving
definitely-
around.
Yeah.
Are they local? I feel like I've seen the name around, but
Yeah, they're from Virginia. I think
Okay.
that they're kind of scattered around. Primarily, I think Norfolk.
okay. Have to check them out.
Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah, that was with Prisoner and Suppression.
Yep.
It's pretty cool. I've just been kind of working, holiday rush season stuff, being a contractor. Everything has to be done before Christmas. And then planning on just kind of not doing anything for a while and traveling with the family for a couple weeks.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Stefan, I know you've been busy. What's up?
Yeah.
What's going on in your world?
Dude, I'm burnt out, but I'm doing all right. We're moving, so we got that going on, plus the daddy daycare going on, which is insane. Plus work going on. There's a lot going on. The Rangers been sucking ass, which is I work a hard day and I'll be like, yes, my team is gonna play tonight. Maybe we'll end this stressful day off on a good note, and then they just crush me even more. So I'm waiting on them to get it together so that my mood can kind of level out. Yeah, so that's where I'm at with all of that. But big picture, everything's really good. My complaints and my grievances are all trivial shit that doesn't matter. So, yeah, everything's going good.
We've been good busy. I mean, working,
Yeah.
doing tattoos,
Yeah.
moving, so it's all good stuff. I've been doing the same old shit, working, playing music, trying to get coded off the ground, working at the farm, watching terrible hockey, ignoring football, as I stated earlier. I did go catch a show on Saturday, saw the Buddies in Vigil, and they were opening up for
nice.
Deceased.
Oh,
Yeah.
who,
Was that Cobra Cabana?
Yeah, that was
Nice.
at Cobra Cabana. Always enjoy seeing Deceased. Got to talk to King Foley after, and confirmed he is a Paul Naschy fan, which is a Spanish horror dude that just not a lot of people know about, so it's kind of cool to
That was cool, man.
meet a horror head that's into that shit.
Yeah.
And they always rip. And a cool thing about them too, or the show, I get there early, and I see some of the guys from Earthling. I don't know if you guys know them from Harrisonburg. And I was like, "What are you guys doing? Just hanging out tonight?" No, we're playing. They play in Deceased when they fill in and play in tours with Deceased. So
Oh, cool.
Nice.
it was like seeing Deceased featuring Earthling, which is pretty
That's
cool
pretty
on a
cool, yeah.
personal note. But
Yeah.
that's really it for me. Just same old shit. I don't really have any profound holiday plans. I think we're going out of town, maybe actually for Christmas for the first time ever. So, but yeah, let's get into. So I know we're not. Some of you guys aren't diehard hockey fans, but I do have a little hockey talk segment. This is a hockey show after all, and so I just wanted to start off with some hockey questions. And the first one is, how many episodes of Puck Rock Rangers have you guys watched?
I've seen 3 of them.
3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched the Bend the Knee one. I think that's when it first came on my radar.
Okay,
You
yeah.
know, more so.
That's
Shout
like
out.
18% of our viewers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Shout out Ben and me. They were awesome for doing that. That was a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
Yeah, they're good people. Man.
I actually rewatched that interview last night just to kind of get hyped up. So.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a
yeah.
good one.
All right, and Slaughter over here, Michael is a Penguins fan, and I just wanted you to explain yourself how that happened.
So basically, man, I just ended up like kind of touring in Pittsburgh like for a few years. So I ended up on the East Coast and up and down. So, but that was the main city we would hit, and we ended up having like a lot of off days and just kind of fell in love with the city, man, like for real. So,
Okay.
but man, before that, I was kind of into like the Steelers and all that stuff. So, but I'm an enthusiast, so I like a lot of teams. People give me shit for it all the time. But
You like a lot of hockey teams or just
yeah,
teams?
I like two. So I got a West Coast, East Coast team. So
I'm not exactly like that, but I have teams that I like.
See,
I
I mean,
have-
yeah.
the Rangers are my
Absolutely.
team.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who they're playing. Always root for the Rangers.
Who you
But
got
I
in
have
the
teams
West?
I like. Yeah, who do you like?
can you guess?
San Jose?
I'm gonna guess the Kings.
Ducks.
Vegas.
Oh,
Vegas,
okay.
Golden Knights.
Yeah.
Okay, I would have never guessed that because I guess they're so new. Like,
That's cool.
Just going with the upstart.
okay.
Yeah, baby.
Some of my West Coast teams, I've always liked the Sharks. I mean, they have some of the
They're cool, man.
dopest
The logos
uniforms
are
and
cool.
stuff.
as hell,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
And I really like the Avalanche.
The
you
blacked
know.
out jersey, like Sharks
Yeah.
jersey, is like so sick looking.
Yeah, that's
I
what I
think
grew
the-
up with for sure.
Yeah.
I think the Ducks have probably the best goal song.
Yeah,
Oh,
Bring
yeah.
Him by Pennywise.
Yeah. It's like, it's just a good song.
It's
And
hype, dude.
yeah.
It's hype. Oh yeah. Well, anyone else into hockey remotely or?
I mean, somewhat. Like, if I'm ever going to claim a team, it's usually a Pittsburgh team, but that's just from.
My man.
Okay.
Yeah.
My man.
You like the fights.
Well, and like growing up, like my mom's side of the family all lived in the Pittsburgh area, and that's where we'd spend, a lot of time. So, never really fell in love with any DC teams, though. I did hunt around in drawers trying to find my old Bullets jersey from way back when. I was like, man, that's probably worth something now.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
I used to go to games like when I was a kid, like local, like Renegades.
Or
and shit
Renegades
like
games?
that.
Hell
Yeah.
I always thought that was fun. Like I like going to
The
games, but
best.
I don't really watch
Yeah.
almost any sports on TV. But
Fair enough.
like yeah, hockey's always fun to go see.
I have some friends that are like diehard hockey fans, like Capital.
Okay.
I think I have some family friends that they're like big Penguin fans. But I
Penguin
did.
fans.
You're on
I
base, man. Get over it.
I did go to. I don't know if you would call it a little league hockey game recently
Oh, yeah,
down
that's
the
right.
street, but I want to give a shout out to Grayson with the Carolina Hockey League, the Virginia Beach Warriors White 10U.
Shout out.
Grayson.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Number
shout-
11. What up?
Grayson.
This is
Grayson the
episode
Grinder.
11.
Yeah, on episode 11, straight to the top like a rocket ship, man.
11's a big number for the Rangers too.
Yeah.
Louder.
It is, man.
Our amps go to 11.
Yeah.
This is true. A little louder.
So we're all a lot of us are musicians here. Stefan hangs out with musicians, and musicians hear this at shows a lot. Oh, name 3 bands. Cool shirt. Name 3 bands. So I wanted to see if y'all could name, not you, see if y'all could name 3 NHL hockey teams.
The Capitals.
Yeah.
All right.
The
Hold on, I'm
Rangers.
sorry.
Oh.
I'm not gonna cut you off. Go ahead. I had a different question. I fucked up my question, but go ahead. Sorry.
Sharks, Capitals, Rangers.
Okay.
There you go.
Woo! No repeats.
No repeats.
Devils, Lightning. Trying to think of one that we actually haven't mentioned.
I don't want to say anything because I have to say 3 after
Maple
you.
Leafs.
Maple
Okay.
Leafs. Oh, good,
Nice.
good. Shit, that was one I was going to do. All right, so we got Bruins.
Yeah.
They haven't popped up yet.
No.
You said Devils, right?
Yeah.
You did.
The Mighty Ducks. Does that count?
We already
Well,
kinda
we
said
kind of
that.
already said that, so that would be cheating. I don't
That'll
know.
come up, but yeah.
Yeah,
What
we
was
said the Rangers. I mean, how many are there? There's not that many.
32.
32, man.
You got plenty left.
If we've said 10,
I'm not gonna name
yeah.
that
No, Florida's the Mighty Ducks, right?
Think of a storm, a big storm.
Oh yeah, the Cyclones, right?
No.
Avalanche, yeah,
Avalanche.
Avalanche is one there.
You got 2.
Lightning,
You should say
no,
Lightning.
Yeah.
you know.
There's another Florida team just won the cup.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the cup that they won.
It's a thing that happens in Florida all the time.
Yeah.
Keep on destroying the Florida coast.
Hurricanes. There we
Hey.
go.
There you go.
All right. Cool.
I'm
We
in.
gotta
Just
do
in
that.
40s. actually.
40s, yeah, 40s. Global warming.
All right, and then we'll wrap up hockey talk with another question I thought might be fun to watch y'all squirm a little bit. In a sentence or 2, just give me your general understanding of hockey.
No, let me go first so I don't have all my material.
Okay,
stolen.
all right, that's fair.
What comes to mind when you hear hockey? Go
When
ahead.
I hear hockey, the Goon and
The
the Goon
Goon.
Part 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so like everything I need to know about hockey, I think I've learned from
Shout
those 2
out
movies.
Doug
Yeah,
the Thug
yeah,
Glass.
Doug the
Doug the
Thug.
Thug.
Yeah.
I love those
So
movies.
that and Slapshot, you know,
Slapshot, yeah.
with you know maybe a side
Reg don't
of Happy Gilmore, but you know that's
Okay.
more golf. You know, I think the Goon is like top tier cinema.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know.
For sure.
Yeah,
hockey for
for
sure.
hockey
Blast to the
movies.
enforcers.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to say most of my hockey experience in the last, I don't know, since I was a child is just Letterkenny and Shoresy.
Oh, great answer. Great answer.
Gold.
That's about it.
Gold.
Yeah.
Great answer. That's one of my both actually are kind of like binge watches, like comfort watches.
Yeah.
For sure. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go back and watch like 5 episodes of Letterkenny on like a slow afternoon or something.
There's a new season of Shoresy coming. I don't know when, but they at least announced it or said they're doing one. So
Coming back.
Mine was definitely the Mighty Ducks.
yeah.
That was like
yeah,
the
totally.
intro for me. It was so cool.
Good
Knuckle
old
puck.
double E,
Yeah.
Emilio Estevez.
And I've seen some people like around Richmond with Mighty Duck like jerseys, and
Yeah, they're
they're
hard.
Cool
really
jerseys.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Rangers captain a couple weeks ago just got traded to the Ducks, and he has a reputation for being kind of a mean guy, big hits and stuff. And someone posted a picture of him and Radko Gudas, who's the Ducks captain, also kind of an asshole. And they posted them and the Bash Brothers from the Mighty Ducks. So that's your new version of the Bash
Oh, yeah.
Brothers there.
That's all
That's
right.
perfect.
What's your understanding? You probably understand hockey pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the general rules. I mean, what do you want to know exactly? What do I know?
I was more. I know you know hockey. I was more interested to see what they. came
Okay,
up
yeah.
with.
They
Do they,
did
still,
good though. They did better than
do they still do that glowing puck thing so you can see it on the screen?
Nah, they
No.
did away with that little
Yeah.
the fiery puck, the comet. Yeah.
Yeah, the comet. That was pretty cool.
I do
Right.
think it's pretty cool that they allowed the fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You know?
mean,
Like,
Well,
that is like it is.
It
necessary
is
key.
more different. Like it is a lot more showmanship, I think, to it these days than actual like people out there to really hurt somebody because like you know
Yeah.
Oh,
It's,
there's still
eventually
some-
that started getting frowned upon.
There-
You know,
there's
knocking
still some goons
people.
out there.
It's
There's
not
some
good to
very-
knock somebody out. You
I
know.
mean, there's a varying reasons. You see sometimes just two dudes pissed off going at it. you see sometimes where it's more of like, let's get the benches going.
Yeah.
And I mean, you see even guys sometimes after the fight, oh, good fight. You know,
Oh
so-
yeah, they
so
live for it.
it's not
man.
all hate and spite, but there's definitely some of that still in the game for sure.
Other times you just gotta hold the other players accountable because the refs saying. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, if somebody tries something on one of your teammates, you got to go let them know that that's
You
not
gotta check
okay.
them. Yeah.
And
You gotta
that's
check
just
them.
a rule. And then 5 minutes go by and you're right back out with that same dude.
All right, we're going to transition into some more stuff about the band.
Yep.
Can you check Insta, see if we have any questions or anyone
Yeah.
tuning in?
Yep.
If
Mm-hmm.
our buddy GBM's on here.
I'm just gonna stand out of the way.
GBM.
Our buddy, Goth Bitch Magnet's his handle. You tuned in last time, we shouted
Sweet.
him out. Anyone on here?
4 people are watching.
Nice.
So
Good, good,
I'm gonna
Gamoga.
tell you who. Somebody said Wolf.
Oh no.
Wolf is doing great.
Nice, thank you.
Is that Wolf? Is that
Aiden
Mrs.
Watson.
Mother Wolf?
Goth Bitch Magnet.
Goth Bitch Magnet's on here. All right,
Uh,
let's go.
and a couple other people tuned in. No questions
No
yet.
questions. All right, well,
Yeah.
fire away questions if you have them. We'll
Yeah.
keep rolling with the interview, but we appreciate you guys tuning
Yeah.
in. All right, so let's get into the band. I guess I'll start with my introduction kind of. I know Wolfman and Ricky from Vulcanite. Don't know you guys as well. And then as far as Fit Check, first time I saw you guys was at Chugalug House, and I really wasn't aware of the band. Wasn't, just was stoked because I got there like mid-set. And it was kind of a cool surprise to like walk in somewhere you feel like you know everyone and see a band you haven't heard, didn't know of, some people you knew in it, and it was kind of thought it was pretty sick. And I actually felt bad because I didn't recognize you till we played together at Cobra. I don't know if you remember that. Everyone
Yeah.
thought
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
cut, and at the end of the night, we're all like, "Oh, you're Ricky."
But you can't really tell who Ricky is. You tell.
Yeah.
So, but
we have a question for Ricky
all right, let's go.
from Suburban Kendall.
Nice.
What is Ricky's opinion on the show flyers?
Oh, boy, what is this?
We're getting into the real hard, deep cuts
I
here.
love
Flavors,
this. I love
flavors.
this.
All right, let's put Ricky on the spot here.
No, this is from something very, very specific. But it's been taken care of, and we got a much better flyer for something that we got coming up.
Diplomacy counts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Not always super diplomatic.
it's
But
a fine line between like getting a flyer from someone and appreciating what they did, but if
Right.
it sucks, you're like,
Yeah.
do better.
Like,
You're
we
gonna
can-
run by this us first.
we can try
Right.
harder.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe have a couple people go at it and see what pops up.
There doesn't have to be just be one. Yeah. Yeah.
Flames and flags? Question mark.
Yeah. I think we all decided that was not something that we
That was,
needed.
just the implications I'm getting from those two words. We're not really on the show
Yeah.
Yeah.
flyer. Sounds like more like a rally type thing. But,
Yeah,
I'll leave
yeah.
that alone.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into it. So Soft Fit Check, really thought you were awesome, and obviously have been following you guys since.
Thanks.
We'll get into the name. Where the name come from? Is there an intention behind it? Someone come up with it?
You go
No,
ahead.
no. I'd actually like to hear what you have to say
Well,
about it.
So, like, I'll just be honest, like, so, this whole thing came together, like, with no intention of, like, where we were going with it, so we had, like, no idea what we were going to do for a name, but we came up with some heaters and stuff, man, but we just never settled on it. Like, it was just
Yeah.
something, like, that kind of, like, was just
kinda-
eluding us for a little while, and then we were kind of like, well, we got to play shows, we got to get out here and do stuff, so, and then, that's when, like, Corey just kind of randomly just,
Like,
I think she was doing. Weren't you doing like the Fit Check Fridays or something?
No, well, so for years I've been doing Fancy Fridays.
Fancy Fridays.
And it just so happened to be a Friday when we were in our group chat, and Ricky had said something like, "Oh, what about Fancy Friday?" And then it just clicked, and I was like, "Fit Check. Fit Check is tough. Let's do Fit Check."
Yeah.
And everyone else was like, yeah, that's perfect. And we were just waiting for that moment where, like,
You know,
everyone
kinda click.
immediately
Yeah.
was on board.
Yeah, like no one had to get talked into it.
Right.
It's like, no, it'll be
Exactly,
cool. And
yeah.
it's like, but
We thought of Sweet Nasty for a minute, but then it was like, wait.
We think it's taken too. It's taken.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
taken.
Yeah.
well, yeah. there's-
Sweet Nasty has to be a band down in
It is, it's
Alabama
taken.
somewhere.
yeah.
I was like, I was like, I kind of want this to be like, I don't know, like, I kind of describe us as like wholesome, hangry hardcore. And
Hangry.
Sweet, yeah. Sweet Nasty just was not doing it. So Fit Check is a better fit.
Yeah.
Fit check is for sure a better name.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
And it's funny because like obviously a fit check is like to check your outfit.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah.
my mind did not go there. My mind went to like an
Oh.
attitude adjustment.
Yeah.
Or like check your temper.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and it could be, yeah. And that's kind of the other cool part about it is, you know, everyone kind of has like their own opinion of what a fit check
Yeah,
is.
I think it has that popular like connotation, but then like you said, you immediately went to
Yeah,
like
that's where
somewhere
my
else, and
mind
that
went
like I'm be honest, like when she said that, I was like, that's what I was thinking about because I had no idea what a fit check was.
Well,
anyways.
Yeah.
And then
Until like recently, like, we got the name, and I was like, oh, this is like a thing.
Exactly, and then like randomly we'll get tagged in something on like Instagram for
Yeah.
like some influencer in another country just being like Fit Check HC, you know?
Yeah, we actually get a lot of like random tags from like people doing fit checks, and like
Yeah.
I guess they type in fit check,
or yeah,
and
just-
ours is up there, and they're just like hit all of them.
But it's
Yeah.
sweet when they do it with our shirts because it's like that's
Yeah.
like perfect.
Right.
You know?
Pretty
Yeah.
much, right?
Yeah,
But like it's an attitude thing. I mean, that's like what Fancy Fridays were for me. Like it's, you know, you gotta check your attitude. So I think that your response is pretty on point
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I knew someone that actually thought that it was like muscle, like checking like your muscles
Yeah.
in the mirror, and I'm like, I guess whatever you want to.
It is.
Whatever
it
fit
is
check
what it is.
is.
Yeah,
Like
whatever
you
fit
just
check
roll with
means
it.
to you.
Like outfit.
Yeah.
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 That's the popular
main,
one.
Yeah, that's the main one. But there's and I think band names like that. I mean, art in general obviously is open for interpretation.
Exactly.
So if anyone gets something off your name, I mean, I was in 333 for the longest time, and it was just like, it doesn't mean half evil. It's not half of 666. I mean, it's like trying to explain your name away just drove me crazy. So,
Yeah.
but it's cool to have a name like that people can kind of like make their own kind
Right.
of thoughts on. And
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely didn't need, and fit check. Honestly, I've been dressing the same way since I was like 13. So my mind did not go to fit check at all, like
Yeah.
outfit wise. But that's awesome. Where do we got? So I'm going to jump around here a little bit. So want to tell just a brief story of when one of the times we played together, because we played together at Cobra and Banditos now.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the first Cobra one was probably the first time I heard you guys with some pretty good audio and quality. And I can speak for everyone in Hard Facts at the time. When we played that show, it was such a good vibe show. It was with Winter Wolf. Winter
Oh,
Wolf
yeah.
came down and killed it.
Yeah.
Shout out Winter Wolf.
Yeah.
And y'all killed it. And you guys, we had to play right after you, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
And I remember being like, God fucking damn. And I'm not just saying this to blow smoke. This is honesty. And me and Chase were sitting there the whole time like, we got to go up behind them. And honestly, and this is not a plea for pity. That was objectively just our worst show. Like, our lineups changed since then. We've written some stuff differently. And y'all just, honestly, like, blew us off the fucking stage before we even played up there. And I remember at the end of the night, everyone's happy and everyone's chilling. And I was doing my best to be chill, but like I was still just like, everyone's like, good show, man, good show. I was like, not a good show. So that's definitely a fit check memory. I wanted to like at least
Oh.
take y'all in
Yeah,
on the inside.
thank you.
of it.
Yeah.
Dude,
That
like,
was a
honestly,
very
that
good
was
show.
like probably one of our best shows. I think to this date.
That
I mean,
was a very
yeah.
good
like
show.
that
Y'all
was
had
one of
to
those
choose.
shows where we all
Well,
like
yeah,
you
everything
get like the
just
group
jived,
photo
yeah.
with everybody. It's like
Yeah.
this is
The
like
guys
real
from
love.
Southpaw were in the house. Like
Yeah.
that was a good
Yeah,
show.
dude. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
where we met Southpaw.
And that was
actually.
that was part of our frustration. Was like that was such a great show, and we just sucked
Yeah.
up. But
I,
anyway,
do,
good
I,
on
don't,
you
I
guys
don't
for
remember. Like, did you guys bomb or something?
bomb. No.
Okay. That's what I was like, I thought you guys
Doesn't
did.
agree.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
I thought everything was. I thought that was a really that was a super fun show.
Yeah.
Put it this way, it was the last show with that lineup. So
Yeah, well, yeah, I did the Banditos.
we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Guitar player.
But moving along, Wolfman,
Yes.
where the hell did that nickname come from?
Way back when, circa 2005, I was, slicking back my hair with a bunch of dudes, looking tight, checking my fit every
Oh,
day,
shit. Oh, yeah.
and had some big old sideburns. And nickname, that they came up for me was Wolfman, because I was a hairy dude. I came in second place in the Richmond Hairiest Man competition.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sign up for that. I got
Yeah,
something to say about
that's
that.
what I'm saying, man. Like, I feel I was robbed. I think the votes were a little skewed towards the end, but these days,
You count these
I think I could take number one these
You
days.
couldn't beat that random Serbian guy.
Right?
Should have had a
Dude, it was a literal gorilla that I was up against.
I'm not sure he's a person.
They brought it in from the zoo, our Richmond City Zoo.
That's like bullshit.
Also, shout out to the Richmond City Zoo for being next to a grade school. Is anybody else waiting for the day that becomes national news for
I've
some
actually
reason?
been waiting. I have a clock at the house.
Just the alarm to let you know, and it'd be like, the monkeys have escaped. You're like, oh yes.
Oh yeah.
All those kids are
Talking about
recovering.
recess.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be great.
Oh, yeah. That would be awesome. All right, I want to go. I want to go way back, and I want to hear from all of you guys. Because we're all, like I said before, a lot of us in here are musicians. We all have kind of our story, how we got here. So that's really the question. Like, what was your intro to music? Where and how did you become a fan and eventually a musician?
It's a loaded question.
And you give me the cliff notes. They can be kind of general,
I
but-
mean, so I guess when I started playing guitar, I was about like 14 or 15, and that's probably when I started getting into like a little like heavier music or like whatever I would consider heavy back then. So, I mean, you're talking about like Nirvana and stuff like that. So like a lot of like grunge rock, but I mean, that's basically when I started, man. I've never really looked back. So when I started playing in bands, I was like 16. And like I said, dude, there's not been a day or a week or a month, a year in my life where I've not been playing music. So
That's awesome.
yeah, that's pretty much it.
Go,
Corey.
Okay. Like growing up, my whole family, everyone was musicians. In middle school, when I was like getting into punk, I learned how to play bass, and then I don't know. I actually started doing karaoke and kind of got my stage fright out of the way, and then just landed doing vocals for Fit Check. But my dad was a huge like musical influence for me. He was into the new wave and like classic punk, like the Clash, the Ramones, and that was just kind of like my entryway. Yeah.
Good shit.
Yeah, I think I started going to shows like when I was like 14 or 15, and then some of my friends in like middle school were like, let's start a band, and like none of us could play shit, and like
Yeah.
I didn't even have a drum set. I just wanted to play drums, and I was like, I'll play drums. Like I don't have a drum set, and then like the guy who played guitar, like his little brother had like a rinky-dink little like like drum kit that you would buy for like your kid when they're like, I want to play drums, but you don't want to like spend a lot of money on it because they're not going to in 6 months.
Like, go ahead and break this.
Yeah, so and like I think like we put together 4 or 5 songs and like played a like 8th grade end of the year party at like one of my buddies' house, and then like ever since then like I just been in bands on and off for I don't know since like the mid '90s.
Oh, yeah.
Hold up 1 second. Back on.
Alrighty. I guess, for me, I'm trying to remember, like, I was definitely, like, starting to get into, punk rock and, like, heavier stuff, branching out from, like, Nirvana and whatnot. That was the golden age of 90s punk rock, like NoFX, Punk and Drublick, like Offspring, Smash. So, like, definitely remember those, like, coming out, and I think when I started listening to more punk rock was when I wanted to play music, and it was really just kind of a journey after that of, like, trying to find people to play with. Because also new metal hit.
Yeah.
Right there at the end of the 90s.
Yeah.
So, like, it was kind of like if you wanted to play punk rock, that there wasn't necessarily, like, in Northern Virginia, seemingly a lot of people doing that, at least in my circles.
Yeah, the same thing for me. Like there was
Yeah.
one like hardcore band and like maybe one punk band in my high school.
Yeah.
And then like so I ended up playing in a band in high school like in 10th grade with like half like new metal kids because it was like if you want to play heavy music, like everyone was already in good bands.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so, like, eventually, you was going to go to art school, I liked everything I saw about Richmond and the stories that I heard, and was really just kind of more focused on playing music than actually attending college. And
As one
that's-
does.
Yeah, as one does, and that's pretty much been the name of the game for the 24 years after that, same thing. I can't... there's been some periods where I haven't been in a band for like maybe a year, But it's super weird. It even gets to the point where my girlfriend, she's like, yeah, maybe you need to
When you get out of the house,
You need to go do something.
yeah, you need to go do something. You're just sitting around being angry all the time. You're like,
I'm mad because I'm not in a band.
yeah, exactly. I don't have a group of people to complain about. You know?
Those are all, yeah, it's always interesting to hear. Yeah, I mean, everyone's got their journey. I'll give you my quick version. I grew up out in Powhatan. I mean, it's a little redneck county, and it was like in South Park, like the group of goth kids. Like there was a couple of us, but it was like,
Yeah, dude.
you know, you might have like one dude who's into punk, like me, and then you had one dude who's like a goth, and one dude who's like into like AC/DC worship, and they start a band, and it goes nowhere. But that's kind of like lays the foundation for like what you want to do. Like
Yeah.
I remember showing up to my very first band. We never played a show or anything, but we did practice a bunch and write some stuff. And I'm showing up with lyrics that are bordering on like pop punk and emo at the time, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like the guy I was playing like guitar with, he was like straight up AC/DC worship. So it was just the worst mishmash of shit, poserdom you could ever imagine. But,
Well, I mean,
that's where you get your start. You know?
Yeah, and it's
Oh,
not.
no.
You can call it poserdom, but I mean, like you said, it's more so about getting your start. It takes time to grow and actually figure out like what is you doing this and not you trying to be something else, because at its heart, punk hardcore, that's what it is. With the similarity is the music. How we approach it is what makes it us unique.
Yeah.
There's only been so many riffs ever written. At this point in time, like.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in time with music, it's almost like everything's turned into jazz, where there's kind of standards that you base the genre or the sound off of, and then you work from that. Like, we're all like, if you're playing like heavy hardcore, of course there's going to be chugs. Of course the riff comes back and it's slower. And then it speeds up and there's a break beat, So,
Yeah.
But it's all about just like trying to find your way and make it creative. At this point, everything's been done, so just try to push it and do it as well as you can.
Yeah, I mean, we're not trying to like reinvent the wheel, man. Like, cause there's like a dime a dozen hardcore band in Richmond.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like a foundation for that stuff. So, but we're trying to like approach it a slightly different way, So, adding Corey, like, cause it was just the three of us, or not the three of us. It was me and Wolf that started it, and then like Ricky and like Corey came in, and Corey brought like a whole different like vocal approach, you know, that we embraced like quick, and like it didn't take us long to like. I mean, we fleshed out a set within months, so.
Yeah, I mean, like when I joined, we pretty much wrote 3 songs in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And then Corey came in and we pretty much had 1 song done in a couple days, it felt like. And then we had 3 songs done within a couple practices.
This is Corey's first band. So, like, her getting thrusted into, like, hey, you got to do vocals, you got to write lyrics, you got to do, like, all that stuff. It's like, that can be overwhelming, man. So, like, she took it like a champ, and she hasn't really looked back. So,
Yeah, it was really just, I think at this point in a lot of our musical careers, for the 3 of us that have been doing it, is just like, this is what we do, and we're all in. We understand that there's no money involved. Like, this is strictly fucking passion, but I want to leave it all on the table. When I'm in my 60s, I don't want to look back and be like, oh, well, I was just kind of like half-assing it and using practice as an excuse to get out of the house, I want to be able to look back and be like, nah, I fucking tried, man. I gave it the best damn shot I could,
I think what keeps me going, I don't have any delusions of fame or anything like that. It's doing stuff like this. It's meeting people. I've referred to it during my interview with Ben Denis as kind of like my second adulthood set of friends. Like, all the friends from high school have kind of moved on and gone about their shit, and like now you join a band or you join a scene or a booking crew or whatever it is, or you're just an artist or you just like going to shows and you meet all these people. So it's definitely unique. I can't speak to like a lot of like other music scenes, like, because I'm maybe a pedestrian at best, but definitely as far as punk and hardcore and metal, definitely feels like home for a lot of people. And this kind of transitions actually into a question I had, and I'm not totally going to single out Corey, but I wanted Corey's answer on it first, and then I'll get the rest of you guys. But, obviously females, and however you want to phrase it, I thought a lot about how to phrase this, but females and let's just say non-straight males have always had a big presence in punk and hardcore. but especially in recent years, it seems like there's an ascension of female-fronted hardcore bands.
Yeah.
And not just female-fronted, you're seeing them play instruments too, but a lot of female-fronted bands like Scowl, Gel, God Awful, Slut Bomb, Payasa. And I was just curious, I guess, what your take is on that, how you feel about it, and are you into these bands? Or?
It's about fucking time is the first thing I want to say. But when I started going to shows, it was year 2000 was like my first like punk show. And as the years went on, I realized just like how misogynistic just like the hardcore scene was, and how women were okay with that. Even I was okay with it. I actually went through my Twitter recently and like deleted all of the comments and like jokes that I was making back and forth with friends just because it was so negative. And it's just a breath of fresh air to see like that there are women standing up and we have a lot of shit to say and staying up, and we have a voice and having fun. And I don't know, I feel like that shows have always been for everyone, but it's always been very male dominated. So I don't know, it's just fucking time.
Yeah.
So
I would agree. And speaking of shows, I had a note here that and I don't know how you guys feel about this, but it's, to me, it seemed like a tangible change coming out of COVID, going to shows like, and I turned 30 during COVID. So I officially became an old man during COVID. And to go to shows after that and see all these kids, where before you feel like, almost like jaded, like you went to a show, everyone, you go to 25 Watt Wonderland, all these places, kind of who to expect. And then to go out to shows, like the first couple shows after COVID were really eye-opening. And it's like, who the hell are all these kids? And it just hasn't stopped.
Yeah.
And now you're seeing kids, like, whether they're really into the music or not, like the punk fashion is back.
yeah.
Back when I was a kid, if you had colored hair and combat boots and shit, you were a punk rocker, or at least a goth or whatever. And now it doesn't mean shit. It's just kind of the look.
I mean,
Right.
it's crazy, man. Like, I go to shows at the warehouse, and like it's just like this whole new wave of like kids that I have never seen before, or like have no clue who they are, and like I'll see like maybe 2 or 3 people that I know this time. It just it's gradually changed, man. I think, and I hate to say it, but like a lot of social media is like blown up these bigger bands, man, like Tsunami and Drain, and like Kubla Khan. I mean, these are all becoming like TikTok bands.
They're leaning into it.
Yeah. They love. I mean, you got to embrace it, man. I mean, we need a TikTok, by the way. But
Well, and I mean, like I think
Corey.
that what COVID did was you kind of had this, not generation, but a bunch of kids that were becoming, of the age where they can go out and do shit that were told they couldn't. So like people weren't taking shows for granted anymore. Like after going for a year and some change without live music, everybody was like, we're now, this is fun. It's better to see it live than just watch on your phone. And you see more and more of that.
Yeah, you had 2 years of like, you're a prisoner basically, man. So like the world opened again, and it was like, and I think a lot of the people, especially younger kids, when they were pent up for that 2 years, they were ready to go see new stuff, and like, because that's what I'm saying, there's this new wave of like, and they don't look any particular way, you know what I'm saying? Like they look like a young kid that's just off the street, and they want to come to a fun show. So it's like, and like I said, they're seeing all this stuff online, and they're like fanatical about it, man. So
yeah, I mean, I'm all for it. We've all been to shows that were either a sausage fest or just no one there. Like I always call it
25 band.
What do I say? I say friends and girlfriends. Like that's kind of the show.
Right. Yeah.
No one there, maybe a couple girlfriends and stuff.
Yeah.
But you go to shows now, you're seeing more people coming out, and you hit it right on the head. You said you don't take it for granted.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, it's. We're getting some time away from COVID now, so it's maybe further in the rear view. But right away coming out of that, it was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm going to shows again. Like
that was weird.
Our first show, 333 was still a thing back then. And our first show was in Joel's backyard, and I was just so happy to be with the friends again. The homies.
Right, yeah.
For sure.
Getting out there and
it definitely
doing
brought a lot
work.
of kids out, and I was glad to have kind of a conversation about it. And there's a lot of good bands out there, whether you have female in the band or not. But it's definitely a wave of female-fronted hardcore bands, and they're all really good.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them are really
I
good.
think it's perfect for the scene, man.
Yeah, well, and it also seems like that they're hungry for it now.
Yeah.
Like that every single one of them kind of realized as being like, this is our time to shine.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
there's even like a ton in Richmond,
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's so many that we played with or that that we're friends with now and stuff. So I mean,
I mean, like I like the fact that it's getting to the point where it's not an oddity anymore.
Yeah.
It's just kind of
become
like
normalized.
It's
Yeah.
normalized.
For sure.
Yeah, it's just
sure.
like yes, there should be. It's normal for there to be multiple female fronted bands on a bill, and not it'd be like, oh, female fronted hardcore night. It's just
Right.
like no, there's ain't nothing weird about this, man.
We're getting to the point like where like I made a point to bring it up, but we really shouldn't. It shouldn't be like, oh, female fronted hardcore. It's a hardcore band.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
Regardless of the pieces, but
I think it'll that will fade, man. With especially with this wave of like
Right, yeah,
like
yeah.
it'll just be like, oh, that hardcore band.
Yeah.
Like not that. Like y'all are saying, like female
Yeah,
fronted or
like pop
or
music.
anything.
I do think that, I mean, I distinctly remember going to my first like house show after like lockdown, and I was talking to my brother about it afterwards, and I started crying just talking to him about how cool it was that there's so many like trans queer like younger kids
Yeah.
that like my niece and nephew's age, that it made me feel that the next generation has this under control, and that it's like that they're going down the right path.
well, because you don't want kids staying home
Right.
because they don't. Like I heard a term someone said the other day. I don't remember where, but they said. And I think there's some truth to it, and I'm gonna try to not fuck it up here. But they said hardcore is for anyone, not everyone.
Mm.
And it's not for everyone.
That's
But it's
true,
but
yeah.
if you want to
Yeah.
get into it, or it's there for you,
Yeah.
but it might not be your thing. I think it's
Yeah.
the sentiment,
Yep.
and I hope that more and more kids get into it, because honestly, we're doing our thing, but it's about the next generation. It always has
Yeah.
been.
Yeah.
Right,
And,
yeah.
you
Well,
know,
you need that fresh take on it,
Yeah.
because
and they're making awesome music.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm pretty stoked on it, but I'm glad to hear y'all's take on it. And hope you guys are enjoying these bands, because a lot of them out
Oh
there.
yeah, man. I honestly, man, we take inspiration from that stuff. From
Yeah.
anybody that's doing their thing and representing that, whatever they want to represent, like to the fullest, and being genuine about what they're doing. Like I think that's what we're trying to do, anyways. Just be as genuine as possible and have fun. That's ultimately what it's about.
Oh yeah. Well, and this transition is kind of, we're talking about influence and stuff. So I had a couple questions about the influence of the band, and I guess you guys can take turns answering. What's the main? I mean, I've heard you. I know it's hardcore, but what's the intention? What's the style? What's the sound? For maybe our listeners also who haven't heard you as much, and then like individually and for Fit Check. Sorry. So like, what are some bands that inspire you, and then what are some bands that maybe have inspired Fit Check?
Go for it, Corey. I wanna hear your take.
A lot of people have asked me this question, and honestly, like when I started like writing songs, writing lyrics, I was listening to like bands like Void and Negative Approach and Gorilla Biscuits, and I felt like that I was getting too much influence from them, and I was like, no, I don't want to like copy another band. I want to like do my own thing. So I feel like that we are doing our own thing with like vocal delivery. So at least that's what I have to say about vocals. But musically, I don't know. What do you think we sound like?
This is like the worst question.
I
Like,
know.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
it's
like
weird.
I'm
It's
always
like-
trying to do
Ask
like
it.
a fast sonic assault on people's senses that gets
Yeah.
them moving around.
yeah.
I don't fall prey to genre categories.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like it should be fun, and people want to have it should be fun for me to do and fun for people to watch. That's the name of the game.
I think we're trying to keep the energy up here and like fast, but like like hardcore fast, not like anything too like speed metal or anything. No,
Yeah.
not really blast beats
No
or
blast
anything.
beats,
yeah.
But then like like I really like the older like 90s hardcore, like especially like kind of like New England style stuff. And that's what I like. And like, but it's very formulaic, so like we're kind of like not trying to just do that same thing, because like
Yeah.
everyone knows a hardcore song. When you hear like a quintessential hardcore song, you're like,
Yeah.
all right, it's gonna drop out, floor tom's gonna come in, and like you can pretty much like what you're getting, and so like we want to be in that realm, but like also like do what feels good for us,
Yeah.
and like high energy, and like just kind of we've been doing the short and sweet thing, because it feels good and it's fun, and you know, and just kind of whenever anyone has an idea, we kind of just like work into it.
I mean, we just want to punch you in the face for 2 minutes, basically. So
Yeah,
like, we just
yeah.
try to fit as much as we possibly can.
Yeah.
Into like 2 minutes, and
But
like,
then,
and
then we're gonna force our friendship on you.
yeah,
Yeah.
like it's all love. It's like the hits of love
Yeah.
taps. But,
Yeah, I mean, those are some of the vibes I've gotten.
Yeah.
As just like someone who, you know, listened to y'all earlier, seen you guys play a couple times. Definitely an accessibility. Definitely, as far as the music, you know, the resounding sound is hardcore punk, but there's it's always weird, like genre hunting, but like there's like almost like a groovy kind of stoner riffy element
yeah, dude.
to it at
Yeah.
times,
Yeah.
and I like that. It kind of has like it keeps it from being just a bunch of chugs and a bunch
Yeah.
of breakdowns.
Yeah.
It gives it kind of like a rhythm. So yeah, definitely a fun sound. And after the interview, Fit Check's gonna play some songs, and stick around for that. We got the room all mic'd up and ready, so that'll be sweet. A couple more questions. We are starting to wrap up here a little bit. I wanted to ask, you know, we featured Bend the Knee on a previous episode, and we're also working on having Heavy as the Head
Oh, awesome.
Oh, okay.
on
Nice.
soon. So with those both in mind, they're both playing the Nick Rockefeller Memorial Show on the February 8th. So I just wanted to ask about that show. It's at Canal Club. Maybe tell us about the bands playing on there and how meaningful the show is.
So I think you know, Jeff approached us, and I was the one that kind of like knew Nick like personally, so you know it was important to me, you know, and then everybody else was really, you know, supportive about it, so we wanted to jump on and like just help with this, you know, the whole process, and you know, like I said, just support what they're trying to do for like Nick, and then I guess you know the cancer fundraiser and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't know, like just seeing like that guy like pass like that, and like kind of, you know, like it was heartfelt, man. You know, it hurt a lot of people, and like, man, you saw it, you know, across the scene. It was just kind of like,
Yeah.
you know, a shock, and then I don't know, to be able to do this and like kind of like help the whole like healing process is, you know, important to us. So I mean, you know, when we saw Bend the Knee, you know, Heavy as the Head obviously is going to play this, you know, we had to hop on and, you know,
Yeah.
like I said, support any way we can. So, but you know, I think that's the next gig for us. So
Yeah.
you know,
Next one on the books.
yeah, but
And,
Yeah.
and apologize if I brought up something heavy. I didn't
No,
know,
no.
I didn't know Nick. I know a couple of the guys in the band. I know Travis probably the best. Know
Yeah.
Trevor a little bit. But we'll say, as someone that's seen the band a lot, you know, he was a hell of a guitar player. He always looked like he was happy and smiling, and that's
Yeah.
kind of what I've heard and the vibe I've gotten. So, obviously, rest in peace. But I did want to at least bring that show up. We'll let y'all plug it, and we're gonna edit some of the show flyers into the video if we were
Cool,
able
man.
to do that. So, hopefully, people listening along, watching along, will know about the show. Any other shows coming up for you guys?
We're working on doing a run with Beef from Philly
Love them.
in March.
Yeah.
And it's endish of March.
Yeah, and we got some tentative stuff in the middle of April.
and May.
Beef,
and
y'all were
then-
playing that show too, right? Were y'all on?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
One
yeah.
Winterwolf.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Thought
yeah,
you
we
were-
played that. That's where we met them, and then we reached out about getting them back down here, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
we ended up.
In the process
Yeah.
of finalizing a 3-day run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were kind of in the
Like,
same
kinda
boat, you know.
remember
They're trying to get, you know, their band going in Philly, and we're just trying to do the same thing in RVA. So, but we're also trying to get out of state as much as possible. So,
Yes.
it's an opportunity for like us to join forces and
Any
make it
show
work. Yeah.
outside of Richmond.
Yeah.
Within 4 hours, you got it.
Yeah.
No
Beef
questions
is a great
asked.
example of the female presence in hardcore,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh,
Yeah, and they
throw the
fucking
fuck
rip
down.
too. So
Oh, yeah,
like,
they're
they're
awesome. Yeah, they were. I'm not, you know, I always try to pick like a favorite band of the night when I go to a show, and they were my favorite that night. I was
Yeah.
Yeah, they killed
Yeah.
it. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they
their
were-
energy was unmatched.
Well, I'm gonna do a little shameless plug. My band Coded has its first show coming up. Shout out Rob and Rival Booking. We're playing with Banana Slamma,
Sick.
Fupa Goddess, and Burrito Bowel. And,
Burrito Bowel.
This show almost makes me want to come up with like a more offensive or gross band name.
You guys
But,
like the most in the
it is
world.
what it is. Wednesday, February 18th at Imperial Lounge in Richmond. So check us out. We're gonna be loud and crusty. So all All right, so I checked y'all's music out. There's only 4 songs on Spotify. So is there more coming?
So we have those 4 songs that we released. We did a digital 3-song release, and then we released a single sometime after that. We have a 6-song cassette that's for sale at shows. You can buy it on Bandcamp, which is like fitcheckhc.bandcamp.com.
Okay.
So like that's a physical cassette. There's 100 copies. They're individually numbered. They are all it's all like DIY. Like they were duplicated professionally, and then everything else is DIY. Her brother Ryan Aircraft did the layout and artwork and stuff like that. And then so it's got a big like 12 panel like pull out, like it's ridiculous. But that's got 6 songs on it. And then like that stuff is just that's on the cassette only. And then we have another 5 ready to go whenever we can get back in the studio. And then we're looking to do some stuff with that.
What we're playing tonight isn't on anything, right?
Yeah, so everything we're gonna play tonight, 2 of the songs are on the cassette, but they're not released on streaming.
Yeah,
and then 2 of the songs
we haven't recorded
aren't
yet.
even recorded yet.
Yeah.
And then we got
a special
one.
5th one. Yeah.
For you New
For-
York boys.
Yeah, for
for
New
New
York
York.
boys.
So I think that one's been released before.
Yeah.
It hasn't? Oh no.
Well,
you
yeah,
guys,
not
but-
but
We'll let
30 years ago.
we'll let the millions of followers at home determine that.
Is the tape available for streaming, or is it on Bandcamp? Like music,
It's on
music
Bandcamp, so
Yeah.
you can buy it. Since it's
Yeah.
on Bandcamp, you can buy it digitally.
Yeah.
But
So all the tapes come with digital codes
Digital
too.
copies.
yeah, and they all come in digital copies. But if you buy it
so buy their
digitally,
shit, guys.
you don't
Yeah.
get the
Yeah.
you don't get the sick
Well, we're
layout.
trying to keep like certain things exclusive, man. Like that's we don't want to like I guess like just throw everything.
Merchandising.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I
I mean, and that's another step of the game too. It's like merchandise is key to being in a band.
Yeah.
I'm a major proponent of that. Like
Yeah,
you got to come out like a t-shirt merchant, man. Keep.
That Fit Check shirt I wear all the time was actually bought for me.
Oh, really?
And one of my guitarists bought 2 or 3 shirts that night. He was like, "What size you wear?"
Nice. That's
awesome.
So I
Yeah.
love repping that shirt. It's like
The
free,
Chase
so I
file?
love that. No, it was Austin. Shout out
Okay.
Austin.
Okay.
Yeah. But not Chase bought me a shirt. Please.
Chase loves us, man.
All right, let's we kind of talked about some of the short-term plans. Anything in the big plans? Any tours? Anything in the long term for Fit Check?
I mean, just keep doing what we're doing. Obviously,
along.
like anybody, tours are cool.
Yeah.
It's got to be the
Just
right.
gotta make it work, man.
Just got to make it work too.
Yeah.
That's the other name of the game. Is a little bit harder for all of us to just pick up and leave these days. So
Yeah.
but
Yeah, Corey's got a dog.
Yeah.
we all got dogs.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
I
also
have,
true.
I have a senior dog who. There's a joke that he's on hospice care.
This is
So, like, leaving town for an extended period of time is a little stressful for me.
right
But,
now.
yeah, right now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm almost there with you. My dog's not quite there, but she's getting very old, very slow.
Yeah. I have one that's pushing 13. That's
Never easy.
Yeah.
Never easy. Never easy.
It happens to all of them.
It
That's
does,
it. That's the
yeah.
thing. Puppies become old dogs.
And we're gonna get real dark on this pod. It'll happen to us.
Yes.
Yes.
Ooh, no one lives forever.
All right. Yeah, that is true. All right. So I guess we talked about Bandcamp and Spotify. That's mainly where people can find y'all's stuff. Do you guys have a site or anything like that?
Actually, I don't think we have like a.
No, we don't have an actual like URL of our own. But yeah, like we're most active on Instagram, and then like the Bandcamp is the best place to like buy our stuff. We usually have a couple T-shirts up on there.
Yeah.
We kind of rotate through like our kind of like our on the road kit. So we'll take a shirt out and throw it online, and then take the online one and put it back in, or like whenever we re-up and stuff, we'll kind of rotate through. So like check that if you want to pick up some merchandise from us. Shows are where we have everything.
Yeah.
Bandcamp, you can get a couple things, and then like you can buy the cassette and everything like that. And then we're on pretty much all of the popular streaming stuff. Like we're on Amazon, we're on Apple Music. Basically, like in order to get on Spotify, you have to go through a distributor. So like whatever the distributor supports for digital streaming, we're on it. I think it's something silly, like it's like 20 something services, and I haven't heard of like 90% of them.
Yeah.
But
Good
but yeah,
old
we're on
distro
there.
kid. Yeah.
whatever you use for streaming, like you should be able to find us on it.
All major
So if
streaming
you want to hear
platforms.
stuff, and it is just going to be those 4 songs, unless you want to go purchase a cassette from Bandcamp and
Yeah.
then get the 6. and then hopefully early spring
Yeah.
we'll have some more stuff.
Yeah, we're trying to get some recording done here before the winter's out.
Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely have to keep an eye out for that. And I said this when we were interviewing Ben Denis, and I'll say this again. It's difficult to get like a non-musician to Bandcamp, but I'll say it. Support these bands on Bandcamp. Listening on Spotify is great, but Bandcamp is really the way you buy their music, you buy their merch, and the money goes to the artist.
Yeah,
And I can't
Bandcamp
beat
does
that
not
drum
take
enough.
very much money,
Yeah.
so like it is the next
And none
best
off the
thing.
merch. They
Yeah.
take money off of the music a little, but you
Yeah,
see
and they,
most of it.
they
you
do
know?
the Bandcamp
Yeah.
Fridays. I mean,
Yeah.
that's super important, you know. So
Yeah, and they take the sales tax, and so like it you get the second best thing to buying stuff at the show is to buy it through Bandcamp.
Yeah.
And then if it's a Bandcamp Friday, then they don't take any fees at all,
Yeah.
and it all 100% goes to the band. But even the fees really aren't bad. Like I think it's 5% or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, it's
So
not.
it's not bad. You are getting stuff on Bandcamp is definitely supporting the artist as much as you can from like a digital interface.
Well, and Bandcamp has a name your price feature, so I mean,
yeah, I mean,
you can pay the band more obviously for the record if you want
Yeah.
to. So,
Yeah, that's super cool.
Stefan, do we have any questions, comments, anything going on Insta before we turn these guys over into the studio?
Yeah,
All right.
Goth Bitch Magnet wants to know what kind of name is Palmer. I'm sorry, I don't have any. I couldn't come up with a real question. And then he says, follow-up question, D-Beat?
DB
Rock and roll?
DB rock and roll, punk rock and roll, yes. I will say for sure yes to that. Whatever context he means, yes. Into DB punk rock and roll.
Sure.
What kind of name
Yeah.
is Palmer? You'd have to ask my mom. The story I've gotten, and I hate even repeating this, but I was named after Robert Palmer.
oh,
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Arnold Palmer.
no, Robert Palmer, the
Arnie
musician.
Palmer?
Yeah.
So that's where she tells me she got the name. So that's what kind of name it is. Any other questions, or is that it?
That's it.
All right, well, that wraps up what I had for the interview. We are going to turn Fit Check loose in the studio, and they're going to play some songs for us, so please stick around and hang out.
All right.
boys.
Oh, you mean the New York Mad Ball?
The Mad Ball boys.
The Mad Ball!
Those nice young boys from New York City.
New York Hardcore, this is for you. Oh, I guess we don't fake it, we just take it. Set it off! Why did the picture rise and the facts still remain? I read between your eyes and got pieces of roasting. Make it clear to see, full soon I will sin. When God's trying to reset, the pain will begin. Ha ha ha. When the night goes deeper, I won't go without a fight. You know the price I pay, that price is with your life. Suffering in pain, like nothing in your past. Why walk the walk, and my path will be your last. Why did you spend your life and the facts still remain? Why did between your eyes and got pieces of roasting? Take a trip with me, so soon I will sin. When God's trying to regret, that pain will begin. Ha ha ha. When the night goes deeper, I won't go without a fight. You know the price I pay, that price is with your life. Marine in pain, like nothing in your past. Why walk the walk, and my path will be your last. Path will be your fucking last. Mad Ball! Thank you, New York City! We love you! Good night!
Thank you, Punk Rock Rangers. Punk Rock Rangers was tight.
Punk Rock Rangers, we love you!